para siempre. Cuando amanezca otra vez, no más nos queda esta noche para vivir nuestro amor. Y tu picar me recuerda mi irremediable dolor.
Hi everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Your New Favorite Artists, where we interview artists who aren't new, but they might be new to you, and we think that they could be your new favorite artists too. My name is RheAnn. I'm the producer for the Fountain Cabarets here at the Fountain Theater, and today I'm here with Richie, Paulina, and Nick, three members of Romance Nocturno, a group that specializes in boleros and romantic music and has become a staple in Los Angeles with fans of all ages. And we're so excited to have them here today. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks. How did you guys find each other and become Romance Nocturno?
Me and Richie worked at the same job at one point.
Okay, nice.
And then he was like, come play for me. And then I was like, bet, let's go.
Okay, yeah. So you had a vision of growing a band, or you guys just had a chemistry?
Richie had the vision. He literally was just like, wait, you like this music? Because I heard you sing it at work.
Oh.
Come play, like come to like a rehearsal or something. And I'm not gonna lie, he asked me like 3 times, and like I was busy all the times until I came back. Funny enough, I came back from Mexico City. I was in Mexico City, and there's like come do this one gig for us, and I was just like, yeah, for sure. And then I liked it, and then it was history ever since then.
That's amazing. So if you never sang at work, we wouldn't be sitting here today.
No, yeah, I'm singing more like humming a melody more so, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And there are 6 members of the ensemble in total, right?
Correct,
so
yeah.
How'd you guys all come together and form this group today?
We met Paulina through a friend in common that we had, and with that friend, it's a dear friend of mine since high school. We just be at parties. We're Hispanic, when we party, we sing, we play, and I've always been very drawn to romantic music. At my core, this is what I enjoy. And we started playing at parties, and someone heard us, and they're like, hey, can you guys come play for me? And we'd be like, yeah, sure. And then we started moving a lot in like college recitals. We started playing in USC and UCLA.
Yeah.
And every time there would be like a new person joining. The faces of the group have changed and they come and go, but the core of the group, it always comes from a connection. That's really important to us as an ensemble, to be with people that we know that have a connection with. Because how we get along off stage is how we get along on stage.
That's so cool to hear how it naturally came together through having a connection as people.
And we never really expected it either.
Oh, really?
It was supposed to be like a side little thing that we would do here and there.
Oh, wow.
And it just kind of took us by surprise.
Yeah.
If you would have told us a year ago that we would be doing this today, by no means we're like big or anything like that.
But you're selling out shows.
We're selling out shows.
Nosotros que fuimos tan sinceros que desde que nos vimos amándonos estamos.
Yeah, no, I want to know how Boleros music came into your life before Romance Nocturno came to be.
Oh, well, I think everyone has a different journey, but for me, as long as I can remember, Boleros has been a part of, who I am and what I grew up doing. My dad's a singer, my mom's a dancer. My grandpa had his own band back in the 70s in Central America. That's where he met my grandma. She was a singer. And then my great-grandpa had a marimba ensemble in Guatemala. And I just remember growing up listening to my grandma sing boleros, and my grandpa played Mones organ, and my dad would sing a more contemporary version of them. So I really kind of grew up with the old-timey boleros and new ones too.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of what it's been like for me, but I don't know about these guys.
I kind of had a different journey with boleros, and growing up, I think when I was around 11 or 12 years old, I started playing in mariachi bands, and boleros kind of had already been a part of my life in in a similar way, kind of, through the generations, it was what my great-grandparents listened to, and my grandparents, and my parents after that, kind of all like, it's been around. It's always been part of the culture, but I don't really have a very musical family until I kind of met other musicians that became that musical family for me. And when I first started singing, some of the first songs that I was performing live were boleros, and so it's always been very special for me as a performer and a musician. They hold a very special place in my heart.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I, for one, am super late. I discovered boleros maybe when I was 18.
Okay.
I have my parents are, my dad's a singer. Well, my dad plays music. He's not a full-time, but he plays music. He's from Venezuela though. So there's not really, there are boleros, but it's not super popular over there. You know what I mean? Okay. It's a different type of vibe. But it wasn't until I had a mentor. He was a Cuban instructor that I had, and he showed me the first kind of boleros that I would know now. Obviously, there's different types of boleros, but the ones that I learned first were Cuban ones.
Yeah.
And so I kind of learned from there, and then kind of branched out and started listening to more of everything. And then I brought it up to my parents one day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we know all these songs." And I'm just like, "Wait, what? Show me then." And then they gave me a bunch of records, and then from there on it was, because I listen to music a lot too. So I kind of just, like I said, I just downloaded it all on my computer, and then it was good to go from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I actually have that in common with you. Some of the first boleros that I heard were Cuban ones as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Romance Nocturno sounds like poetry when you say it. Can you tell me a little bit more about where the name Romance Nocturno comes from?
I remember one of my biggest musical inspirations and one of my favorite bolero albums is called Romance by Luis Miguel. Shout out. And I just loved the name and how it rolled off the tongue. And I was like, oh, we're gonna name the group that. It's just gonna be Romance. And then my dad was like, well, people are gonna confuse it with the album. I'm like, no, they're not going to, because we're a band and that's an album and it's completely different things. And then he told me what is gonna happen when people are gonna have to look it up. You can't beat that album. He's right. And I was just like, wow, okay. So I sat on it for a couple more dates, and I was quite literally pacing back and forth in my room.
Oh, wow.
I had a sketch of the logo.
Okay.
Because the first time that we ever played together, Barina got us some roses.
Yeah.
I don't even know why she got them, but she got them.
I think it was we were playing at a senior recital at UCLA, and I wanted to congratulate our friend, but also have something to kind of make it part of the show.
Yeah.
So I brought some flowers with me.
Yeah, she brought some roses, and the moment, which I still have mine, by the way, they were real roses. And at some point, someone suggested having them on. I don't know if it was her, but she put mine on my lapel. I really liked it. And in the pictures, that's the one thing that we all have in common, aside from playing the music. So I wanted to have a nod to that. And I'm like, okay. And then I just kind of drew it within the circle. And then I drew the rose. But then I didn't like the circle. So I kind of when I was erasing it, it kind of looked like a half thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let me kind of make this into a little moon. So it was the moon and the rose. I'm like, what's more romantic than that?
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't think of a name. And I was just sitting back and forth, pacing back and forth in my room, and I just sat down. And I looked out my window and I saw the moon exactly how it was, the way I drew it. And I was just like, oh, Romance y Luna. I was just like, that sounds really nasty.
You're like, I got it.
I got it.
That was your draft?
That was my draft. And then I was just like, no. And then I was really, I'm very stubborn.
Okay.
And I was really set on something about romance had to be in there, and then something about night. And I was like, Romance Nocturno. And no one liked it, including myself. We were not convinced.
Oh no, you didn't see the vision?
We stuck with it anyways because we were already at a point where we wanted to keep going as a group and we didn't have any name. So we were just like, this is our placeholder. and we're gonna stick with it until we think of something better. And then we never did.
And we never did.
The good thing is that it really grew on us, and now it feels very intentional.
Yeah.
And it worked out for us.
So you guys have experience across different cultures in the music, but you guys are based in LA as a group. I'm curious about how LA influences your work and what relationship you guys have to the city.
At least for LA is such a like mix of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But to answer kind of, at least on my end, it's funny enough because Richie only knows me as a percussionist, but I'm actually a drummer first. So like I borrow a lot of, as I mentioned earlier, I had a Cuban mentor that helped me throughout my journey as a musician. And so, I mean, but then I also had another teacher that he was from Iran, and he taught me a lot of like Middle Eastern stuff. And once as a musician, it's kind of like a chef. You kind of learn a bunch of different spices, and then you learn how to apply them in different scenarios.
Yeah.
And at least for me, truly, like LA is just not only it's the place for that as far as just like understanding different cultures and stuff like that, but then also applying different cultures to different aspects, in this case music. But it's just it enables it, you know what I mean, so much, and it makes it easier, and also like you learn something every day from it.
Do you ever feel like you want to teach people what you know and what you've gathered?
I mean, I'm not the best teacher, I'll be real with you. Like, I'm serious. Like, but yeah, I mean, if someone is passionate, you know what I mean? If someone's passionate and they're willing to learn and they want to learn.
Stuart's a teacher.
Stuart, or Reconquista is a teacher.
Oh.
He's a certified teacher.
Oh, wow.
He can like give you books and stuff like that and like make you actually like learn something. I, for one, would just be like, you didn't hit the drum right. Sorry.
You didn't do it right.
You didn't do it right.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But, I mean, to an extent, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, cool. I just love hearing over and over, like, the uniqueness of each individual is what adds and contributes to Romance Nocturno. That's awesome. So, to talk a little bit more about the Kabarett, which is on July 2nd at 8 p.m., we all know. Kabarets usually host artists who not only perform their music, but some people do poetry or essays or tell stories or give history, just anything that helps us get to know that artist in a unique, intimate way. So in that regard, this is completely your show. What are some things that you guys have in store for us outside of the music?
I mean, like you were saying, here at the Fountain Theater, people come together to see art.
Yeah.
To see it happen in person. And I think as artists, whether visual artists or musicians, we're storytellers, like you were saying, and we're here to share our stories and the stories of the generations that came before us in this music, and in a few other cultures that we're hoping to kind of blend together in this show. We want to bring something, and also lighthearted this time around. Of course, we always stick to quite romantic material, but it's it's summertime. It's people wanna smile. People wanna be out in the sun. And
we're outside.
Yeah, we want to tell. Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we're outside. We want to tell these stories and kind of bring together some stuff. We've got a couple surprises in store.
Okay.
That is something that's very important to us too.
Yeah.
You mentioned at the beginning that it's 6 of us, and that is absolutely right. But we're always trying to grow our musicianship, really expand on what we have.
Yeah.
So, for the Kabarett, we might not be 6. It wasn't 6 at Mother's Day, so I can tell you that.
That's true. Okay, you guys, this has been great. One last question. I want to know, what are some goals or dreams that we're working for Romance Nocturno? Where do you want to go next?
Well, one of our main goals that we're working on right now is releasing music. we love, the classics, obviously, who doesn't? But we really want to work on making our own music, telling our stories into bolero and romantic music as well. So that's kind of the next thing. We're already working on a couple songs. It takes time.
Yeah.
We're also, expanding on, our shows, really.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for opening the doors of the theater. This was the first theater we ever played. And after we were done with the Mother's Day show, I was just telling everyone that this is our bread and butter. This is what we want to do.
Yes.
Obviously, we love performing in Chinatown at Café Tondo or in Boyle Heights at East I Love, or, whenever people open the doors of their house and their events and all that, we love being there. But there's just something about letting us create such a visual environment that it's such a gift. I mean, for this last one, we had a scene where we sat down and we talked and we shared a glass of wine. And then Nick had this huge logo behind him. And we were surrounded in candles and roses and all these things. That's only things that a stage in a theater allow you to do.
Oh,
so definitely continue playing theaters,
Yeah.
Playing outside of LA would be really awesome. Playing outside of California would be awesome.
Yeah.
Outside the country, but everything at its due time.
Okay. Well, I totally see it for you guys, truly. And thank you so much for this interview today. Thank you for playing on our stage. Please let everybody know where we can find you online.
Oh yeah, you can find us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram as Romance Nocturno. Our handle is at romance.nocturno. It's gonna be the guys that have you'll see us. It's gonna be us.
You'll see them. Yeah.
And soon Spotify and YouTube too. Or every streaming platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Keep an eye out.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, this has been another episode of your new favorite artists. I'm RheAnn. This is Richie, Paulina, and Nick from Romance Nocturno. Find them at the Romance Nocturno Kabarett Thursday, July 2nd at 8 p.m. Tickets are selling fast. I'm serious, you guys. Get them today. Bye.
Bye.
Que nos queremos tanto, debemos separarnos, no me preguntes más, no es falta de cariño, te quiero con